Hey guys, it's Mohamed here to continue our conversation about Black History Month. Today we'll be talking about important Black Canadian leaders and groups throughout Canadian history and using this time to celebrate their achievements. If you want to learn more about Black History Month and how it came to be, click the link above to see our previous video. The first person of African descent who came to Canada was Matthew deCosta in 1604. He was a navigator and an interpreter who spoke many different languages. Some of these languages include English, French, Dutch, Portuguese, and Pidgin Basket. He was very important to the early European settlers as his communication skills helped them communicate with some indigenous groups like the Mi'kmaq. Early arrival of Black people to Canada came with many hardships, including slavery, lower wages, and unfair treatment. Many who came to Nova Scotia in between 1749 and 1782 were enslaved by the English and American settlers. From 1775 to 1783, there was the War of American Independence, which was fought between Great Britain and many of the North American colonies. African American loyalists who were loyal to Great Britain were offered freedom in return. The Black loyalists fled to the Maritimes and settled in Nova Scotia. While in Nova Scotia, they faced a lot of unfair treatment, including getting smaller plots of land and lower wages compared to their white counterparts. Cooley was an enslaved African-American woman who fought against being moved from Ontario to the U.S. Her actions in 1973 sparked the anti-slavery movement in Canada to bring an end to slavery. Do you know who this lady is? Her name is Viola Davis Desmond. And no, not this Viola Davis. In 1946, Viola Davis Desmond refused to sit in the theatre at the Roseland Theatre in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. She instead decided to sit on the floor, which was only reserved for white people. In 1954, segregation ended in Nova Scotia in part to her brave actions. On November 19, 2018, the Canadian government issued this $10 bill to commemorate her and her contribution to Canadian history. Other Black figures include John Ware, who is celebrated as one of the most well-known and respected ranchers in Western Canada. Mr. Ware popularized steer wrestling 20 years before the Calgary Stampede. The Ware family is one of the most respected ranching families in Alberta. Speaking of Alberta, the first Black female lawyer in Canada is from here. Her name is Violet King. She became a lawyer in the 1950s after she got her law degree from the University of Alberta here in Edmonton. Another celebrated Black Canadian is Donovan Bailey, who is known as one of Canada's best athletes. He once held the world record for the 100-meter sprint. He also won 2 gold medals at the 1996 Olympics. Canada's first Black detective was Alton C Parker. He gained a lot of respect from his colleagues when he worked on the Windsor Police Force in 1942. He was the first Black police officer in Windsor. He was promoted to detective in 1951. The contributions of these heroes continue to inspire Canadians and help mold them into productive members of their community. You can join the celebration of Black History Month by reading about important Black figures, learning about the African diaspora, or reading up on places like Amber Valley, which are rich in Black history. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video about Black History. We have links in the description below for those who want to learn more about the history. To find out different ways to support your local Black community, you can take a look at the previous video from last week, or you can follow us on our Instagram at AHC_youth as we continue to post throughout Black History Month. Thank you guys for tuning in and have a great week.